We're live. Hey, everybody. This is Glenn Vitriello of Chocotastery. We do a lot of really cool live, online, and in-person chocolate education and tasting events. And tonight, we come from you from New Jersey and Dallas. And so we have with us a part of our second session, Amber Royer. She is an author, and I want to welcome her to our live tasting tonight. Amber, welcome to our tasting.
Thank you for having me out. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing all about this chocolate series of books and what it's all about. And yeah, so as I'm just getting everything set up on my end on our page. So everybody who's joining right now, there we go. All right, so everybody who's joining right now, I'd like for you to just say hi in the comments and ask any questions for Amber or myself, and we'll shout you out and just say where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from, and all that. Yeah, so Amber.
Yes.
How did you start to write about chocolate? What really inspired you? And I'm kind of want to hear about all of it.
Well, there were a number of things that came together kind of all at once. My husband and I were doing some things with the local herb festival, and they wanted us to do a different demo than some of the things we had done in the past. And so we came up on the idea of blending culinary herbs and chocolate, and we did this little pamphlet called "There are Herbs in My Chocolate." And about that time, I started doing some just presentations aboard Royal Caribbean cruise ships. So we did one year 4 cruises where I got to lecture about gardening and did chocolate tastings and all of that with some really special chocolate. And one of the people that I met first whenever I learned about craft chocolate was Art from Amano. And whenever I was telling him about my idea to do a chocolate tasting aboard a cruise ship, he thought it was really cool. And he actually donated some bars for the first time I did that presentation. And we sailed out of Baltimore, and we were going towards Samana, Dominican Republic as one of our stops. So we sailed out of Baltimore. There were a lot of people there who were big fans of commercial chocolate. And it was really interesting doing the chocolate tasting and watching people's reaction. And some of them were like totally sold on craft chocolate. And it's like, no going back, dark chocolate, gonna taste it all. It's gonna be amazing. And yet some people were like trying to get into my backup bag of, oops, I ran out of craft chocolate. Here's just some chocolate from the grocery store, because they really had a preference for that very neutral flavor. So coming off of doing that presentation, getting to Samana, I got to meet the family that was running the cacao plantation. And we got to see them do a demo where they were like hand grinding cacao. And that was the first time we got to taste the pulp out of a cacao pod. And this all happened a few months before National Novel Writing Month. Are you familiar with that?
I can't say that I have.
Okay, so National Novel Writing Month happens every November, and it is where people across the country, and now I think it's around the globe, get together with the idea to write at least 50,000 words, which is their minimum definition of a novel, during the month of November. So that happened shortly after I had been doing all of these lectures, and we had done our little chocolate cookbook. And I had no idea what I was going to do for my novel for National Novel Writing Month. And then I just got this idea, because I had been working on all this stuff with chocolate. It's like, why not do something with chocolate? And I'm a big believer in what I call the kitchen sink novel. And that's, I'm going to put in everything I like, including the kitchen sink. And so I love science fiction. So I decided I was going to do it as a space opera. I really like cheesy television with that over the top element. So you've got a little bit of soap opera thing going on in here. And because we're talking chocolate, and I wanted to look at, if chocolate was the only thing Earth had, where the characters would logically be from, They had to be from in the chocolate belt. At least my protagonist did. And so soap opera tradition also leads you straight to telenovela. So she's a washed up telenovela star who's gone halfway across the galaxy to become a culinary arts student slash linguist. And by the end of the series, she's also become a diplomat.
Wow.
Starts with free chocolate. This is the first one.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah. So we have 4 bars today to taste along your journey of telling us all about each of these books and leading up to the one that's coming out next month. But we have a first bar that is made by someone who's near and dear to you and your journey, Art Pollard and from Amano. So we have the Dos Rios bar. Thank you for holding that up. I do have a little not great light here, but we're gonna tag team on doing a tasting. She has much better light than me, but so as we get this ready, for everybody who may not know, I with Chocotastery, I have my own chocolate tasting guide, and basically there's 4 simple steps to tasting chocolate that could help you mindfully take in the experience. And so obviously the first step would be to look at the colors of the bar, compare. Sometimes it's a little bit darker or lighter brown than other bars to the same percentage. You have the snap, that's a sign of how well tempered the bar is. Then you have the aromas, and you have what you actually taste, and then some sample flavors. So I have this part of my classes and online resources, and I have a tasting sheet that you can also check out, where you could put in each of these attributes and write about what experiences does it evoke for you, how you may be brought back to that moment that inspired you in some way. So it's really cool, and it's a cool useful tool as well. So what I like about Amano's bar, the wrapper, just zoom in right there. He writes, "It's all about perfection," right up there. So that's really art. It's really awesome.
So Art was the first craft chocolate maker that I ever really got to talk to. And he is truly passionate about what he does.
Mm. Yeah. I remember meeting Art for the first time back in 2015 at the Fine Chocolate Industry Association. And as I open this up, I'll share how I went up to him, and I was like, "Oh, this I've just started learning about making chocolate, and I took the École Chocolat class, and I read about you, and now you're here, and I'm saying hi." And it was the most awkward thing I could have possibly done, but it was cool because I actually put a name to the face that I was studying about.
Yeah.
But did you have that type of experience where it's just oh my gosh, you're really cool because you do do make chocolate that's really awesome and tastes really good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I when I met Art the first time, I didn't really know a whole lot about craft chocolate. We had wandered into the Dallas Chocolate Festival. It must have been their second or third one. I know we weren't there for the very first one, but there were only 4 chocolate makers who had come out. Oh, is that the very first one?
No, it's from this past year. Sorry.
Okay. But yeah, there were only 4 chocolate makers who had come out, and we sat through a demo on how chocolate was made, and it was really eye-opening and fascinating. And Art was just really kind that he took the time to talk to us, even though we didn't know a whole lot about craft chocolate at that point.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And bringing up the bar, if you want to share on your end too, to show in the light.
Okay.
Better lighting than mine.
I kind of broke mine already.
It's all good.
Okay. It smells amazing too. I
Yeah,
wish they could
so
smell it at home.
yeah, you guys will just have to go out and get it. So I'm already breaking it up and everything, but basically it's from what I see, like if you put it to the spectrum here, it's like a lighter brown than a dark brown.
Yeah.
You could see that. Oops, there you go.
I think it would probably qualify as a medium brown.
Cool. Awesome. And then the snap.
Snap is amazing.
You hear it, probably hear it wherever you are. But yeah, like so let's look at the hold it to your nose and smell the aromas.
Oh wow.
So what do you smell?
Happiness. It's got kind of a fruity nature to it.
I get like a tropical almost. All right, well, let's do it.
Like
Cheers.
Or something.
Cheers.
So there's a little bit of that front end acidity.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely something citrusy going on here.
I think there's like coconut-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like that, like you're almost like on a beach having a mono bar, basically sipping, like having like a coconut drink or something next to you. I feel like that's where this has taken me.
So the tasting notes, it says bergamot orange, and I'm definitely feeling that hint of citrus. And it also mentions lavender. And once you read that, I can definitely taste lavender.
Yeah, it's you do get that floral note that underlies it. Yeah, it's just a really nice bar. And like you do get like, see, it also has like, you could taste blueberries. You just show that there. So it's like a Dominican Republic is a Trinitario variety, and so it's really a lot of fruit forward tasting profiles.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's 4-ingredient chocolate, so they have your cocoa beans, your sugar, cocoa butter, and you add some vanilla in there to round out the flavor profile. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable bar, and it's always had an impression on me through my years, and obviously it's had a big impression on you through your journey as a writer. So yeah.
And I like that we were able to both get the Dos Rios bar, because with it being from the Dominican Republic, that was obviously not the same farm, but it was the same location as the first plantation I got to visit.
And that's really cool, because it's like close to something near and dear to you, and that's really awesome that you could have something chocolate take you back to that, and like you always have that connection no matter what. And that's what like tasting chocolate is all about, basically, like evoking those memories. And I'm so happy that like today we've curated 4 bars that are actually near and dear to you and to like your journey. So I think for tasting at home, it's good to take some water between bars, and if you have some crackers, I had a cracker here. I normally don't follow the rules all the time, but I do have a little bit of cracker here. Just water crackers. It helps with taking away the extra cocoa butter fat in your mouth, so that you're able to taste the next bar. Talking about the next bar, we have 5 Mile Chocolate is the next one. It's from Animalai, India. So we'll do it this way, Animalai, India. So what connection do you have with 5 Mile?
So 5 Mile actually came out to my first book launch party, and they did a little demo on how chocolate is made. And I guess I was gonna have to tear the paper. I was trying not to.
No, all the wrappers are so pretty.
Yeah, and they're serious about keeping it in there too. And so Jessica from 5 Mile is a pretty amazing person. She is kind and very generous with her time. So not only did she come out to do that demo, but later on, I actually got to take a chocolate making class with her and a couple of other craft chocolate makers at Dallas Chocolate.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'll never forget, I was able to temper chocolate in front of some pros. And I was like,
Wow.
you know, when you do it at home in your kitchen, there's not as much pressure on as when you're doing it in front of, you know, Ben from Potomac Chocolate and Jessica from 5 Mile.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those guys are really awesome at what they do. I'm going to be actually talking with Ben tomorrow evening,
Yeah,
doing the same thing we're doing now. We're going to do it with him. But
awesome.
with Jessica and what her team does is really fantastic. Their bars, there's actually there's like 5 different sections and it's 1 mile each, so it's 5 miles.
Yeah.
Really funny. So I'm going to just break it and then see if we can compare. It's really tough to compare. I don't know if you want to compare there with you,
The
but
color.
this looks like the 5 Mile bar is a little bit darker than the Amano bar.
Yeah.
So
It
you
has a
hear
nice
that
snap
snap.
to it.
Yeah. Hear it all the way in Dallas. I hear it all the way in New Jersey.
There you go.
All right. So let's see what we smell.
So whereas the first one was very, very fruity, this one is almost spicy.
Mm. Yeah.
They're saying we should be experiencing Serrano, so I think I almost smell that.
Interesting. I think I also have chocolate on my nose too.
Oh, it happens. Chocolate is one of those things that winds up everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Why not have fun with chocolate and stick it up your nose? All right. So let's try it out. Cheers.
Okay, there we go.
Mm.
So it's taking a little bit longer for the flavor to develop.
Mm-hmm. And so, quick tip when you're tasting, normally just if you just like you don't want to chew it, you want to let it like bite it once or twice, and then somewhat consciously open your mouth a little bit to aerate it, kind of like how we aerate wine a little bit when we pour it or in the glass we stir it. With chocolate, it's good to have air flow through your mouth while it's melting, so that the flavor notes, the aromas can go up through to your brain, right, all through the nasal passages and all that. So that's a really cool tip because sometimes, like when you do that, you can totally get like, oh wow, that's like a tropical fruit, or that's like that nutty note or whatever, when you may not have tasted it sooner or other ways. Just keeping your mouth like shut all the time.
Mm-hmm. So you can definitely taste the citrus here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is amazing because, if anybody's not truly experienced with chocolate, these are notes in the chocolate itself, not added things. So when the
Yeah.
tasting notes say there's no added chili in it, it just has a reminiscent feel of it.
And then there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to tasting. But I do get a lot of acidity with it. And this is what the India area is known for. It's the acidic note. But still you have like the tropical fruit. I don't, like you said, serrano pepper. I'm not sure if I actually get that. I don't know.
I get
There's no
just a
like spice or
spicy element to it.
yeah, yeah. Because I don't know if I don't think serranos are that spicy.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm definitely getting what they're saying is orange zest and honeydew melon and
Mhm.
serrano. So um, for I definitely get the citrus is coming through that orange
Yeah, sorry,
a
I
little
broke my
bit.
paper.
Yeah, it's so good. Um, but yeah, I mean that's a really nice bar. Um, but I think um, yeah, so you're always going to get that acidity with that area, um, unless you tone it down a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, overall, pretty cool. Just a time check. We have about 9 minutes left and 2 bars left to go.
Okay.
So as far as the next step in your journey, we have I don't know how it plays in, so I would like to know Coco Andre. Who are them to you?
Okay, so Coco Andre is a Latina-owned business. They're a mother-daughter team,
Hmm?
and they source all of their coffee beans, vanilla, cinnamon, and some of their cacao from Chiapas, Mexico. So my
Oh yeah.
character, you can see a little better in the second book cover. Um, she is from Mexico because
Wow.
I have a lot of friends who are from northern Mexico or have family there. Also in California and obviously Texas, it's I should be unwrapping this while I talk. Sorry. It's
That's fine. I got you.
it's a very multicultural area. And so I wanted to honor some of my close friends. In fact, one of them, my character's name is Bo Benitez. My one
Okay.
of my very best friends, her name is Monica Benitez, and she let me borrow her last name for the book. She's done the
Whoa.
voiceovers for the book trailers. She said if there is an audiobook and I wind up doing it myself, that she better be the one to read it. And look at the beautiful printing on this bar.
Yeah, I was holding it up while you were showing the book.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
yeah.
So
So it's like,
there's a lot of flowers and what other yeah, I think it's just flowers and some birds.
yeah. But they also do
Yes.
sculptures. They were recently featured in D Magazine with this heart-shaped cactus sculpture that
Cool.
was really cool.
Awesome.
But
So
they're super friendly.
yeah, I mean I never heard of them before, and I don't think they were at Dallas Chocolate Festival when I was there, or at least I didn't see them. But
I
I'm
know they
excited
were
to
out at
taste
the
this.
they were the official chocolate at the Texas State Fair.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So they've been around.
yeah.
So let's do this. And I don't even let's see.
So
As
nice
far as
snap.
color goes, yeah, there's it's along the same lines as the 5 Mile, I think. Yeah, maybe a little bit different. It's tough to tell, but
I think it's
it's
kind of
starting
like
to melt.
between the Amano and the 5 Mile as far as color.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
Very cool. All right.
nice snap.
Ooh, there's something interesting there.
Yeah, it has almost a savory note to
Yeah,
it.
like I just thought of like potato chips. I don't know if that's a thing,
I
but
usually get their chocolate bark, so this will actually be my first time tasting this chocolate without anything in it or on it.
interesting. Okay. So they don't have anything, any guidance around. Excuse me.
No, but it's very, very
Ooh,
savory and
yeah,
very
let's try it.
spicy. It has a very, very unique feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Whoa, there's a spiciness to that.
It does.
Not, but not like a hot spicy. It's just like an actual like spice that you would cook with, like a salt or pepper, but not like salt and pepper. This is something else.
It's really nice.
It's interesting.
I have managed to introduce you to something new.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. And then I'm wondering, so it's literally just two ingredients. It's just
Yeah.
75% cacao and the sugar.
Yeah, but you would swear that it had some sort of spice in it if you're tasting it.
Unless it's maybe there is. I'm also getting like a fruity note, like
Yeah,
like maybe like a brown fruit of some sort.
I can see
I,
that.
I yeah.
Like a spiced potato chip with a sweet undertone.
Yes. 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 It's kind of like one of those like interesting savory potato chips that are
Yeah.
unique. All right, let's get some water. All right, and so as you go through the two books, you're now going to be releasing your third book called
Mhm.
Fake Chocolate. If you want to hold that up, and so tell me about when it's being released and how we could actually, you know, actually let's talk about how it relates to French broad chocolate.
Okay.
So know you have that story.
Okay, so French broad chocolate, I think, is an example of how when you become part of the chocolate community, people start to embrace you a little bit. And I've gotten to know Sander from Dallas Chocolate pretty well. And I told him I was working on another project. And so I'm actually in the middle of shopping a mystery where my character is a bean to bar chocolate maker who gets to travel the world and solve murders. So that one is not coming out anytime soon. But JL from French Broad took the time to read large sections of the manuscript because she is an amazing person to make sure that I was getting all of that right. And obviously, I think when I wrote Free Chocolate, I was just learning about craft chocolate and doing a lot of research on what the botany of the plant was and everything. Um, then when I wrote Pure Chocolate, I was, playing a little more with there's an alien who's allergic to theobromine and looking at the chemistry of chocolate and all of that. So by the time you get to fake chocolate, I'm learning more about the botany, and I'm talking to people like JL who sometime get her to tell you the story of how she took a bus that they painted with all kinds of fun things from Minnesota to Costa Rica to start a bakery. And then she wound
Wow.
up falling in love with chocolate and starting a company down there that wound up here. And now she's in South Carolina, North Carolina,
Uh,
I think it is. And it's by the French.
Asheville. Yep,
Okay.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, so they're off of the French Broad River, which is where the company gets its name.
Cool.
But I just think this represents the generosity and the education that people have shared. Because by the time I got to book 3, I introduced a plant disease that was synthetically made to destroy chocolate on Earth.
Oh.
And looking once again at botany and real world things where we've started trying to grow cacao trees in my husband's office. And one of the things that you have to look for is there are real plant diseases that threaten the chocolate supply. And I feel like because of the generosity of everybody in the chocolate field, I've gotten to know so much more about chocolate than when I wrote the first book. And I think Fake Chocolate really reflects that, especially as the ending starts to come full circle with the way that my character manages to save chocolate on Earth.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I love how, knowing Jill, she is just like the biggest heart
Oh, yeah.
in the industry. She's such a sweet person, and she's always there grinding at every single show. And so we have the Guatemala bar from the French Broad team here to taste. And so you can see it's kind of like a Mano's bar where they have their logo on every single piece.
You also got to see the inside of
French
this
broad chocolate.
box where she's
Yeah,
got
show that. Yeah.
story and am I getting it in the middle? She's got a story and explanation of the bar and everything.
Yeah. And so I guess looking at this bar and some of the other bars. I think it's a little bit darker than the Amano bar.
Okay.
And so it's less, I think it's a little less darker than the 5 Mile bar.
Yeah.
It is pretty light.
I think it's pretty close in color to the Coco Andre bar.
To do this, to break another piece. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. All right, so let's break it. I broke it multiple times. And just because. So
That
let's
wasn't
see.
as loud as the others, but it has a good
Yeah.
solid feel when it snaps.
Yeah. I'm getting like a malty note. I usually get a lot. That's all it tastes. So what I've been smelling like all night is like malted notes.
I can see that.
But it's like cocoa as well. I think it's more cocoa, and it's just coming across as malt.
Yeah.
But it is chocolatey
Yes.
aroma.
Very
All
definitely.
right, so let's do it. The melt is like pretty quick too.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely an astringent feel to it, but not an unpleasant amount of astringency. It's very definitely what you would consider chocolatey.
There is like a red fruit note. It's so interesting. It's definitely a fruit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got but it's got the fruitiness that melts out of the acidity. So as the flavor develops, it goes from fairly intense to something that has like a mellower feel to it.
Yeah, and I'm getting the astringencies coming through right now at the end, where like my mouth's watering right now. That's a sign of astringency. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-ingredient chocolate, so it's the cacao, the sugar, and some added cocoa butter. And they don't really share on the label the chocolate the chocolate flavor notes that you
there's actually a little piece of paper in there with notes on taste.
All right. Well,
they're saying that you should be a Concord grape, fresh baked brownie, and almond.
I think that's fruity
perfect.
note.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it was. That grape note.
Yeah, wow. But they always have a little like extra something with more information. In fact, really cool. There's some information on the farm on the back of it.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
Which farm is this? So it's this is, oh my gosh, this is literally like grape jelly from like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is like
it's amazing once they identify the name, you're like, yeah, that's what it was.
Because and the really cool thing about it is that like you may have to think about it because you never had it in so long.
Yeah.
That like when you're like, aha, but like if you were to like search for it and like rack your brains out, you like, I know what that flavor is. And then like there's a pros and cons of having flavors included in bars on wrappers or anything like that. But when it's like you may taste something like this, it like opens up the whole experience. Like we just like, oh my God, it's totally like that jelly. And it's totally like childhood.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, so those are the 4 bars that we tasted. Is there, can you share with everybody how they can get a hold of your books?
Okay. So my books are available Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all of those good sites. You can pre-order Fake Chocolate now. And in the meantime, get Free and Pure to go ahead and read. If you're looking for the first one, it is this one. I'm sorry, this is backwards to what I'm usually looking at. And it's called Free Chocolate. Right now, Angry Robot, who put out the first 2 books, they are having a half off shelf isolation sale on the ebook versions. So if you're looking for a cheap read while you're stuck at home, that's an option. If you're looking for more information on me or on the books themselves, my website is amberroyer.com. I also have a blog there where I talk about writing craft, and I've also started interviewing different people that I've met who are really cool in the chocolate industry. I'm a big Instagrammer, so you can find me on there with a lot of book quotes and other information on how the book was done. And I'm also on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes.
We should have been on TikTok as well tonight. I'm sure everybody's on TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah.
Making the time go quicker. But
yeah,
I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. I definitely got a lot of the backstory to like your inspiration behind this series, and I really hope that a lot of people out there do pick up a copy, whether it's the electronic version or the physical version, so that they can support you. And I just love how you share your passion for chocolate and the people who've inspired you along the way. It's just really, really inspiring, and I'm happy to be supportive of this, and maybe work on the audio version, so the audiobook version, because I normally don't really read a lot, but I would totally listen to this. So that'd be really cool.
We can talk.
Great. All right. Well, it's a little past 9, so I think that we're could pretty much turn it over to the next session. But yeah, I want to thank you again, and definitely, guys, go out there, go support Amber. If you're in Dallas area, go hit her up and make sure you grab like a chocolate bar or coffee with her at some point and talk about chocolate and her books. Okay.
There's plenty of local places to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's it. Anything else you want to share?
Thank you guys very much.
All right. Bye.